For the battered but proud people of the Empire State, from the financial and entertainment epicenter of New York City to the sleeping and empty small cities and towns of upstate, which once bustled with manufacturing, mining, and farming. We all know from inspiration, history, and nature, we deserve a return to the success and growth of generations past, a birthright being squandered by corruption in Albany, and the depredations of an insecure, scheming mountebank posing as governor, who loathes both us and himself. As liberty beckoned to enslaved peoples behind the Iron Curtain via American broadcasts after World War II, we now say, believe, rise, and join us. Welcome to Radio Free New York.
Hey guys, welcome to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister, and we've got Kevin Wilson with us.
Hello.
Hey Kevin, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was just fine. Nice and warm.
Yeah, that's how my weekend was too. Bob and I were talking yesterday about just how amazing the weather has been, and it's just a great thing. Looking for another awesome week and another awesome weekend coming up, I hope.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of rain too. It's fine.
Yeah, well, a little bit of rain. Well, the grass, the plants, those things that produce oxygen, they need some of the water, keep us going.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Is that how that works?
I think so. I think that's how it works. The rain helps water the grass and the plants and the trees and everything, and then they produce oxygen so we can breathe. Kind of good. I like it.
Wow. See, we don't need to go back to school. Andrew's teaching biology class in ecology here.
Yep. Yeah, no, if you're
right here on
sitting
Radio
here
Free
right
New
now
York.
listening to Radio Free New York in coronavirus land, and you're worried about schools opening or not opening in the fall, rest assured you can just sit your children down noon to 1, or other times throughout the day, depending on if you're listening to some of the other stations here, and your kids can just get a education that costs you virtually nothing. But if you wanted to support us, actually, we should talk about the Patreon. You should go to patreon.com/RFNY. And if you think our biology class is beneficial or other content on the show is beneficial, you should head over there and support the show.
Yeah, the science stuff is obviously the top selling point that we got going for us here.
I think so. I think that the biology and science portion of Radio Free New York is second to none. Sometimes we cover legal matters, history, even the future. Sometimes we cover the future, and but biology class, that's where it's at.
Yeah, no, I think you've sold it. Good job.
Yep, I think so too.
Great.
So, and with 3 small payments of $19.99. Oh wait, that's something else. All right. So, anyways, this is this is Radio Free New York, and speaking of the beautiful weather and people going outside, and the coronavirus stuff kind of winding down, but not really. Now we're just winding back up. And when I'm talking about winding back up, I'm talking about government's grip on the people and on small businesses. And at least here in my hometown, our mayor has decided that because of violence, we're now going to start inciting curfews and limiting how many people can gather together. Which is interesting to me because first it was to, they kind of ushered this in under the guise of, to keep you safe from COVID-19. Well, now there's been a bunch of violence in the city of Rochester, and they're doing the same things. Now we're going to limit gatherings, and we're going to tell you when you can and cannot be outside for safety this time from violence instead of from COVID-19. So, Kevin, why don't you kind of fill me in on what specifically is going on in Rochester?
Right. So, what's going on in Rochester as it relates to the violence is something that's kind of happening everywhere, right? It's not exclusive to Rochester. There have been literally hundreds of shootings in the Rochester area in the last year. There's I'm looking at an article from the local Democrat Chronicle right now. It's 145 shootings as of July 17th, and I know it's gone up since then. So there really is a spike in violence. It's happening in cities throughout the country, though. There's been a spike in violence. There's been more shootings, more killings than we've seen in a while. The crime trends, as we talked about on the show, until this year were mostly going down.
Yeah.
But you get a situation where a lot more people are out of work. They can't go out to the bars. They can't go out and see their friends. And maybe you create this situation where people are bored, intense, and you maybe you exacerbate some of these problems that were already there simmering under the surface.
Yeah, well, couple that with, bad economy and pretty warm weather, right? I mean,
warm weather always does it too.
Yeah.
So, and that's what it is. So, like, when you get this warm weather like this, people are outside, they're wandering late at night. And so the mayor's solution, and this is a solution that's popping up in other cities around the country too, is, okay, well, we'll just ban people from being outside after a certain hour.
That will do it.
Yes. So now there's a curfew that reads, between the hours of 11 p.m. and 5 a.m., it shall be unlawful to gather in groups of 5 or more in a public space in the city of Rochester. For the purposes of this clause, a public place includes any outdoor premises or other area that is open to the public, including but not limited to streets, sidewalks, parks, parking lots, vacant lots, and any unused or unimproved land. So yeah, and the way this is being interpreted is also banning house parties as well.
Yeah.
If you are having a gathering in your home of unrelated persons, they can shut that down because of the curfew law. They can literally take away your right to assembly.
Yeah, which is interesting because people went to protest this and got arrested under it for having a gathering of more than whatever the allowed people was. I think it was like 30 people got together to protest, and they all got arrested under the ban that they were protesting.
Yeah, it was more than that too. So I know a few people who were there, and I talked to them. And so there's a lot of people there. Only 30 of them ended up getting arrested. A few just kind of like walked away after everyone started getting arrested. And I think the arrest happened like later. So the article I'm reading says at least 100 people were there. So people were gathered in Martin Luther King Jr. Park, and they were protesting by just gathering in a large group, right?
Yeah. And this there's two maybe really important things that I want to pull out of this for people who are listening to this. First and foremost is, if you don't have your pistol permit, yes, I know it's unconstitutional. I know we shouldn't have to apply for a pistol permit to carry concealed and protect ourselves. But here we are in New York. If you don't have it, now's a pretty good time to be thinking about it. Now's a good time to think, okay, violence is up. The economy is down. It's hot outside. People are on edge. There's social issues that have people doing stuff that they wouldn't normally do, taking action that they wouldn't normally take. Don't think later after something bad happens to you that that's the time that maybe you should defend yourself. Be comfortable with defending yourself. Make sure that you have a way to defend yourself. Pistol permit is a really good start. If you can't get access to that, things like pepper spray, bear spray, that sort of stuff, probably not a bad idea, because you don't want to be a victim. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I want to emphasize here is, because there is violence happening in our city, the mayor has decided that we should all become prisoners in our own homes. Literally, the mentality is, oh, there's violence, lock everybody up. So from the hours to 11 to 5, have a curfew, lock everybody up. That'll keep us safe, imprisoning the people. I've got a big problem with that.
Nope. It's to me both unconstitutional and the wrong solution, and it's going to create additional problems on top of what we already have. This is a terrible idea. And I should also mention, I said there are other cities. Buffalo and Syracuse are not doing this, though. They're saying, no, it's not really where we want to go at this time. But
I think major issues here. If you guys feel the same way, let us know. Feel free, jump on the live stream, send in some comments. Feel free to call us here on air, 585-346-3000. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment on Radio Free New York.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Catch a wave at Waldameer.
Waterworld opens daily at 11 with a giant wave pool, water playgrounds, relaxing river, and exciting body and tube slides like the incredible new 6-lane Rally Racer. The Rally Racer is the longest, fastest slide in Waterworld. Come experience the excitement as you race your family and friends. And Waldameer opens at noon with a variety of thrill rides and family rides like the exciting new Whirlwind spinning coaster. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, Waldameer is limited to 50% capacity, so there's no free admission. Guests must purchase admission tickets at waldameer.com or at the park. Children under 1 are free. Face masks are required. So visit waldameer.com, purchase your admission tickets, and come have some fun.
Catch a wave, catch a day at Waldameer. Your wet and wild summer getaway. Excitement waits for you at Waldameer. Waldameer in Erie, PA.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
You're listening to Radio Free New York.
All right, welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. We've got Kevin Wilson here with us, and we're just talking about the curfew in Rochester. Crime has been soaring in Rochester, but also across the state and across the country. And the mayor of Rochester has decided the best way to curb this violence is going to be to have people locked up 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. There you go. Be prisoners in your own home. Can't have gatherings over a certain size. We're basically quarantining because of violence now. And I gotta say, I think that's not the right way to do it. I'm gonna go. That's a big no-no.
Yeah. So big no-no for a couple reasons, and the messaging is also strange because part of the discussion is around violence, and part of the discussion is around stopping the spread of COVID-19. Like the press conference is about stopping violence. The order is about stopping COVID-19. So they're just using these COVID-19 emergency orders to impose other laws that they wouldn't be able to do under normal circumstances. Now, Andrew, who could have predicted that?
Oh my goodness. You know what? If only I heard about this show you can tune in on like a whole bunch of different platforms, you know, on the radio, podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everything. Those guys, they talk about this stuff all the time. I think it's Radio Free New York. And I bet if you went back, this would have been predicted on multiple shows that the government would start taking these executive orders and these emergency powers and using them to do things that weren't exactly virus related. I'm pretty sure that's been discussed. Actually, I think last year we talked about it before COVID-19 was even a thing. I think we've talked about it multiple times where government, anytime they make emergency executive orders, they get abused and they start using things for things that have nothing to do with those executive orders. And, well, here we are.
Yep, you get mission creep, and the emergency powers stay around a lot longer than you'd think, than you'd expect, than what is really justified in an emergency situation. And here we are. We're seeing this happen in Rochester too. And I will note too that the order doesn't it makes an exemption for bars and restaurants, which are apparently a state thing.
Can't
And
have
apparently
violence there, Kevin.
Yeah, I know.
Bars and restaurants are exempt from violence. And
Well,
if you order food with your alcohol, it cancels out the COVID-19, so you can't get it anymore.
Yeah, you're protected. So you're all fine. It's good. Except for we're going to talk about what Governor Cuomo said about bars in a little bit at his press conference this morning, but we'll get to that in a minute. The city, the reason they exempted the bars, though, is basically because they tried to make a curfew and set the hours for bars earlier a few years ago, but they lost that battle in court. So they tried to and couldn't do it, and that's why they don't. So, like, they can set bar hours of outdoor space for noise ordinances, but they can't do it for just setting the hours of operation. That is a state purview. They also had, a decade ago, tried to impose a youth curfew and basically banned youth from gathering in public places a few years ago, or being out in public places a year ago. But that was also struck down, especially since it was a night curfew and most of the violence took place during the day.
Yeah. So I was really hoping when you first talked about them trying to restrict the hours in the past that they then had a problem with people just being day drunk walking around the city. So, but I guess, being struck down in court is good enough. I'll accept it. But I do think, like, we should all sit here and reflect on the fact that government has positioned themselves into a place that they have the authority to tell you when your doors can be open for business, which I think is total, utter overreach to begin with. I mean, the fact that they can dictate, when you can serve alcohol and that sort of things is already a problem. But now them trying to say when businesses can and can't be open, and what hours of operation they can and can't have, is just such an infringement and such an overreach. I can only imagine where this is going to go in the future.
No, it's ridiculous. I mean, if the government's setting the precedent that, we already have some of that, right? Like, the hours of operation thing bugs me as a libertarian. It doesn't bug as many other people. The kind of house gathering thing bothers me the most. Like, the government saying, no, you can't have this many people inside your house. But what business is it of yours to say who I can and can't have in my house? And I never liked the beginning orders from the state saying, like, oh, you shouldn't have gatherings either. Like, it's probably a smart idea not to do that, but I think it's a bad idea to enforce it, because what ends up happening is it's never going to be enforced in quite the same way that you're looking for, and you're going to have situations where there's going to be violence and people upset, and there's going to be, this is what's going to lead to greater protests as soon as this order gets used against someone who is just hanging out, not doing anything wrong, and suddenly there's a confrontation. And now we've blown things up more.
Yeah, and just the idea of the government telling me who I can have in my house and when on my personal private property. The idea that your property is yours it has been slowly being chipped away at for years and years and years. Everything from property tax to various zoning laws. Now they're telling you when you can have people in your home and how many people you can have in your home. That's wow.
Yeah. No, it's a bunch of nonsense, absolutely a violation of the First Amendment, too. And what's going to end up happening is eventually the city's going to enforce this on someone. They're going to get sued. Well, they already have. They're going to get sued. It's going to get struck down in court. And suddenly the taxpayers are out, several $100,000 for the trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, because there'll be, some form of damages paid out maybe. plus the cost of the lawsuit and everything else. And yeah, in the end of the day, not only do we cost the taxpayers a lot of money, but there's not enough tax money coming in. I mean, business, everything's slow. With the virus, everything being choked down, the government artificially shutting down the economy, they are so far behind on projected tax revenue. They don't have this money to spend.
Nope. Instead, we're gonna transfer the money from the taxpayers to some lawyers and courts. Great, cool. That's exactly what we wanted to do with our money. Not keep it. No, let's give it to friends and employees of the city. Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
So it'd be interesting to see if Buffalo and Syracuse decide to follow suit, or if they realize, like, hey, this is a bad idea. We're not going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And I do want to bring up a question that someone asked is, do you think, I think they're talking about Lovely Warren, that he did it because they're scared and they have no idea how to stop it, right? How to stop violence. And that could be it, right? That could be that the mayor just doesn't know. How do we address this issue? Well, we'll just keep people off the streets. That's our solution. And government does this all the time. Instead of like the hard community-based work that needs to happen in neighborhoods to like mitigate and deal with violence, it's like, all right, let's just impose a blanket solution and take away everyone's rights, and that's the fairest, quickest thing to do. No, it's nonsense.
And don't forget, spend a bunch of money deploying the police and preventing people to have access from public spaces.
Exactly. I mean, and it's that same kind of mentality that goes behind gun control laws too. Well, there's violence happening, so what do we do? Well, we'll just take away everyone's rights, and yeah, that's gonna fix it all. It doesn't, of course, because bad people are still gonna be out even in this curfew. They're still gonna go out. It's not gonna stop them.
Yeah, no, and it'll just, what it will be at the end of the day is just one more charge. Although, is it criminal? Is it just, it's a civil thing, right? It's like a ticket?
So yeah, you can get a ticket, and it can be a reason to detain you. So usually it's like, okay, you're out after curfew, so now we have carte blanche to search you. So if you have marijuana on you, or if you have any other type of drugs, like or whatever, it's a reason to search you because you're out in public when you're not supposed to be.
So stop and frisk comes to Rochester.
Well, it's already been here. It's been here for a while.
Yeah, but now it's like they're not even hiding it. Like you're walking around 11:01 p.m. and now you have probable cause to be detained.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's that type of stuff. It's that type of mentality, that slow creeping thing where like, oh, well, like I need some kind of special permission to be out and free in my neighborhood. No, you don't. Like we can't accept that mentality that like the government gets to dictate when and where we can be outside. Well, and it's something that's creeped in, because of the COVID stuff too. And again, I don't agree with a lot of the orders to do that. I think you shouldn't be in big groups of people, but I don't like it being enforced.
Well, it's no different than, what was it, maybe 4 or 5 months ago now, where businesses were typing up letters to give to their employees saying, this employee is an essential worker. Please don't stop them on the roads from coming to work. While, all this COVID restrictions were going on because people were afraid to travel from their home to work without government stopping them along the way and them feeling that they needed permission in hand to travel in the United States of America.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a frightening place. We don't ever want to be in a papers please type of America. That's what it has felt like the last few months, and I don't always agree with the folks protesting it, but I agree with the sentiment that like that's not an acceptable level of normal that we can allow in a free society.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's gotten way out of hand, and just when it looked like maybe things were going to be dialed back, maybe we're going to get a little taste of a little more freedom, they just cranked it right up again. So, All right, well, and with that being said, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Cuomo's new thing with bars. And I don't even know what it is. I can't wait. Kevin said, hey, did you hear about it? I said, nope, I'll be just as surprised as everybody else. So we'll talk about that when we come back on Radio Free New York.
Now, more than twice the power.
WYSL.
More powerful FM 92.1, FM 95.5 West, and 1040 AM WYSL Avon, Rochester.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. See partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 60s, maybe a brief shower towards morning. On your Wednesday, not a washout, but there will be some showers, maybe a gusty, thundery downpour late morning into the afternoon. Keep an eye to the sky. Temps in the 80s, turning more humid. Same for Thursday, a passing shower, a little thundery downpour, sun and clouds in the 80s. I'm Rich Cornelia, WYSL.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
There's a place in the village of Avon you and your critters will love. Whether they're big or small, whether they've got hair, fur, or feathers, Avon Feed fits every need. There's a full selection of pet foods for dogs and cats, bird feeders, suet, and dry shot boots and garden shoes. They've got grass and clover seed too. Check out their frequent flyer birdseed program. Buy 10 bags of birdseed, get the next bag free. Choose farm feeds and great equine products like Blue Seal and Nutrina, plus pull and grains. Everything for your pet from feeding bowls to toys, leads, collars, and tie-outs. Avon Feed and Supply has what the big pet chain stores will never have. Tim Cole and his great knowledgeable staff. And if you think you'll save money at that pet superstore, well, think again. While you're at Avon Feed, don't forget the two-legged pets with River Rat 1000 Island cheese and great flavors including hard to find mean and nasty. Plus, once again, nut butters, Nunde mustards, and Rickles pickles. Open weekdays 9 to 6, Saturday 9 to 4. Avon Feed and Supply. West Main Street at the bottom of the hill, just west of the Circle.
Dear Dr. Sussman.
Dear Dr. Sussman, I just wanted to write to all the wonderful people who work with Dr. Sussman and Dr. Pogel at the Center for Cosmetic Dentistry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Each person in the office made me feel my smile.
Not only am I completely happy with my smile, but I feel you've been there for me with all my dentistry
I've had several dentists in my life, but never a dentist of your caliber. You have state-of-the-art
You keep
dental
current
equipment.
in your field as evidenced by your numerous diplomas and certificates, and your entire staff is really the cream
I'm
of the
thrilled with the outcome of your skills and artistry. It's made such a difference in my life.
Dr. Sussman, Dr. Pogel, and the entire staff at the Center for Cosmetic Dentistry take great pride in providing not only advanced dental care, but extraordinary cosmetic dentistry. They love what they do and have a partnership with their patients toward long-term dental health.
For a bright, confident, beautiful smile.
Thank you, Dr. Sussman.
Thank you, Dr. Pogel.
Thank you.
Change your life, change your smile.
For more information, call the Center for Cosmetic Dentistry at 22 Smile or visit 22-smile.com.
Escape from the everyday to a getaway at Woodcliff Hotel and Spa. Woodcliff features elegantly appointed accommodations, creative cuisine, themed suites, full-service spa Elan, and is Rochester's best venue for outdoor wedding receptions overlooking the city skyline. Woodcliff Hotel and Spa, where the experience is extraordinary. Located in Fairport, call 585-381-4000 or visit woodcliffhotelspa.com.
Did you know that the Mary Cariola Center has 6 residences that 44 individuals call home? The Community Services Residential Program has long been recognized for groundbreaking therapies and services. Mary Cariola opened the first group residence outside New York City in 1979 for children with severe developmental and physical disabilities. They also opened the first residence in the state for children with severe behavioral challenges. To learn more, volunteer, work, or donate, visit marycariola.org.
Schofield's Farrier Service, a professional local horseshoeing and trimming business for equines of all sizes, including mules and donkeys, serving Orleans, Genesee, and western Monroe counties. Call Matthew at 585-490-3960. Schofield's Farrier Service.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and operated gun shop specializing in pre-owned firearms and repairs. Get your rifle, shotgun, or pistol serviced and tuned before you take it to the field. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, East Main Street, next to the Bank of Castile.
WYSL.
All right, welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. We've got Kevin Wilson here. And I guess Cuomo is talking about, or maybe already has, made some updates to bars. And I'm going to throw a guess out here, Kevin, that Cuomo realized just how ridiculous it was to make it so that you had to order food with alcohol, and he saw the Cuomo chips for $1, the 12 French fries for $1, and the slice of meat for $1 menus, and realized that he's just forcing people to buy frivolous products so that they can have a drink, and that, you know, when government puts up a silly barrier like that, people will find a way around it. So he admitted today that he was just totally wrong, made a mistake, and backpedaled. Right? That's what happened?
Oh, Andrew, that's what a normal human and a good leader would do. But we're talking about King Andrew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so tell me what he really did, Kevin. What happened?
Well, he offered a clarification on the... I have related to drinking and bars being open. He said we said outdoor dining is allowed. Outdoor dining is not a bar operation. Says bars took outdoor dining as an opportunity to do outdoor drinking. So his clarification is that opening bars was never allowed in the first place, and anyone doing that type of stuff is going to be shut down. So it looks like even the dollar things are not going to count soon. I imagine that's how the state liquor authority is going to interpret things, to say that if you are primarily a bar and not a restaurant where people are sitting down and eating at tables, that's no longer allowed. So the arbitrary and confusing rules of Andrew Cuomo
just got worse. Yep. So let me ask you this, Kevin, in your opinion, because you saw the live stream, I didn't. Do you think that he's going to say that liquor can't be served anymore? Is that the next progression of this? Because that feels like the next progression of this, that just you can't serve liquor if you have a liquor license.
It's very possible that might happen, that because Governor Cuomo perceives restaurants and venues that primarily serve alcohol he perceives them as violating the social distancing rules and the spirit of the reopening process, that it may be wisest to combat COVID-19 to just shut everything down. He's kind of hinted at that. He hasn't said so directly, but he did say, again, that bars were never really authorized to be open in the first place, which may mean that the state liquor authority may start coming in and saying, nope, you guys are shut down completely. We may lose that altogether.
So during this live stream, did they talk about the daily numbers? Like, are we like back into mid-May or something like that, where we're like spiking up and creating a new Jabba the Hutt mountain to climb and re-go down? Or like, what is the motivation for this? I thought our numbers were so low that it's like pre-quarantine, pre-everything. Why does government need to start shutting things down again?
Yeah, we are not. In fact, New York City is going into phase 4 soon, as I understand it. And so that seems like a good thing, right? Like phase 4, we're all there. We're ready to be open. There are a few cases in most places. In Monroe County, the case rate is stayed pretty steady or low over the last couple months. We've had several days in a row with no deaths at all. That's great. It seems like things are trending in a positive direction, and that bars are able to find ways for people to congregate and drink safely and continue operating their business. Instead, we have this arbitrary set of rules coming in with no idea whatsoever when people are going to be able to open up and get back to normal again. There's no data-driven process like there was with the phases, and I have my own criticisms of that, but there's no data-driven process to say, well, this is when bars are going to be open again soon. It's just on Cuomo's whim.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the other issue I've got with this is when all this was being proposed and when all this was put together, Cuomo led the people of New York to believe that there were going to be 4 phases of reopening, and that when you make it to phase 4, everything is back to normal. Like that is what he led people to believe. I'm in Monroe County. We're in phase 4. Phase 4 is not back to normal. It actually doesn't feel any different than phase 3, to be honest. I'm not sure even what the major differences between phase 4 and phase 3 is. Maybe we can go to the movie theater. I'm not sure. So, I look at this meme that's been circulating around the internet, and it's like Cuomo 7 years from now or something, and it's like, we're on phase 156, and the bars are still closed, and social distancing has been reduced to 5 feet and 6 inches. And that's just kind of how this feels right now, that the state is just continuing its oppression, and they don't even have the data now to justify it. I mean, before Cuomo was, shouting from the rooftops that we're using the facts and we're using the numbers and we're using science and all this stuff, and now it's like, you're kind of not. I mean, not that they really were before then either, but now they're definitely not. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, numbers are great. Let's shut more stuff down. Sure, let's do it.
Yeah, and he's really losing the narrative on this stuff, and again, the more he restricts things, I think the more people are going to just start defying these orders, and we're seeing restaurants and whatnot do that already. We see it with the dollar workarounds, we see it with other stuff, just being like, well, I'm just going to open it and continue serving. And then it's hard to take. I think a reasonable person could have taken Andrew Cuomo's approach seriously in March and April. Like, I think that is reasonable. We had our criticism, but I think a reasonable person could have said, look how fast these cases are growing. We need to take drastic action to do something about it. Okay, I will say that person is reasonable. I think that person's going to start looking at Andrew Cuomo, adding more states to the travel restriction list. We're now up to 31 states. In the meantime, Governor Cuomo is going down to Georgia, going around hugging people, and says that he's not going to quarantine for 2 weeks. Because, well, he's above the law. Why would Governor Cuomo go in quarantine for 2 weeks?
Well,
like
that just shows
us,
you,
plebes to do.
And that just shows you how seriously he actually takes the virus. He's not worried about getting infected. He's happy to go travel to one of these other states, and he's not going to quarantine, and he's violating his own social distance rules, which tells me he doesn't take his own rules, his own word, his own design to protect the people of New York. He doesn't even take it seriously. So why should anybody else take it seriously? Why should we be abiding by something that he himself doesn't seem to believe?
Yeah. If Governor Cuomo really wants to fight this virus, he needs to set a good example. If he thinks it's a serious thing, and clearly it did kill a lot of people because of because of the nursing home policy, but clearly if this is something he wants the rest of us to take seriously, he needs to follow the same rules that he has outlined for us. Otherwise, he looks like a hypocrite, and he's going to make things worse.
Well, wasn't he one of the people that stood up and said that Donald Trump needs to be wearing a mask in public so that people know how serious the virus is, and he needs to lead by example? I could have sworn that he was one of the people calling Trump out for that.
Yep. Although Donald Trump is now wearing a mask. Says
it's kind of an interesting swap, right? Trump's wearing a mask and Cuomo's out parading and not quarantining.
All right, it's time for everyone to switch again. Now that Trump is wearing a mask, the Democrats are going to be opposed to masks and say that it restricts our freedom, and the Republicans are going to say just wear the mask.
Yep, there you go. That's what's going to happen. Welcome to the United States of America. All right, guys, we're going to take a brief break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about Kanye West running for president. And I'm just excited to talk about it. Just saying it makes me smile. So we'll be back in a moment on Radio Free New York.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Aircraft Environmental Systems proudly supports Radio Free New York. Rochester-based leaders in climate simulation chambers for America's R&D laboratories. We're experts in troubleshooting, calibrations, custom designs, and consulting for more than 40 years. Industry pioneers, we created the first ever fleet of temperature, humidity, and altitude test chambers available to rent coast to coast. Trained and trusted by environmental chamber manufacturers, we are ACES. Find us at acesinc.com.
A reminder from Abate Monroe County. American bikers aim toward education. Distracted driving is dangerous, so pull over and eat. Don't try to read your mail and newspaper, and stay off your cell phone. Make a mental note to be more alert, making it a habit to expect the unexpected. Remember to look twice, save a life. Train yourself to watch for motorcycles which are harder to see. Join Abate, and your family will be protected with a free $4,000 accident policy. Ride safe, ride free, ride often. Abate. If you ride with us. Google Abate Monroe County.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Radio Free New York.
All right, welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. We've got Kevin Wilson here with us. And Kevin, I want to let you know, I've been holding out. For a presidential candidate to say that if you have children, you should be paid $1 million per baby. And that's why I don't have kids yet. But have no fear. Kanye West is running for president, and a part of his anti-abortion platform is we should pay people $1 million per baby. I don't know. Maybe I'll have a baby, Kevin. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we just start reproducing. I mean, money's not real anymore, right?
I know, it's fake at this point.
Like, who cares? Like, $1 million here for you, there. You know, everyone who's having a baby, $1 million. I love it. You know, it's time to start having kids soon. As soon as we elect President Kanye West.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I mean, there's already a coin shortage. And, you know, I've let you guys know why there's a coin shortage. Everybody else will tell you it's because the mint's not making coins, because it's just hidden in the crevices and cup holders in people's cars, and because the businesses are closed. The real reason is Cuomo's just nickeled and dimed us to death, to the point where there's just no more coins left in the world. But it won't matter, because with a Kanye West presidency, they're not going to have enough coins to pay us. So they're going to have to come up with a virtual currency to automatically debit into your bank account for $1 million per kid. Sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. But yeah, as of July 4th, when Kanye West tweeted, we must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision, and building our future. I am running for president of the United States. Hashtag 2020 vision. That was his announcement tweet. We have someone with this sort of vision who is running for president, Kanye West. Yes, he is the one of the musical fame, also married to Kim Kardashian West, who I
would be the first lady.
It would be the first one. I will admit, they're actually pretty good on criminal justice reform.
Are they?
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah, not a joke. They're actually they pushed President Trump to pass the First Step Act. That's the one real thing that now. There's a bunch of other weird stuff that gets associated with Kanye West. Now we noticed that he did choose an interesting outfit for his rally in South Carolina.
I'm digging the outfit. I like it. He's wearing like coyote tan body armor with a tape across that says security. I think it's a good look.
Yeah, so he's got that down. Now, unfortunately, in South Carolina, they never bothered submitting the petition signatures to get on the ballot, so he will not be on there. But he did.
Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty funny. He held a rally and didn't get on the ballot.
It's getting on the ballot's very hard, as people in our third party friends understand. It is not easy, particularly as an independent candidate. They did submit signatures though in Illinois, so we'll see. If you live out in Illinois, you may have the option to vote for Kanye West this November.
Yeah, this is great. So you had mentioned there's a couple platforms that are maybe interesting that he's got. I tried to find a Kanye West for President website. I was not successful. I did find Kanye2020.country, which was referenced on Wikipedia as a campaign website. It does not look like a campaign website. It looks like something a child probably put together. But it's there, if you want to check it out. I think they're asking for signatures for the South Carolina ballot, which they missed. So
Now, I haven't looked at it yet. I feel like maybe you're just saying this as a website snob because you build your fancy websites. What was it again?
Kanye2020.country.
.country. All right, so I'll have to look that up. Oh boy, yeah. All right.
I told you.
You're right.
All right, Kevin. Now that you have eyes on, was my assessment correct?
No, I mean it looks like someone hand drew this website on a gradient background. Yeah, so I don't know. Ye for president.
Yeah.
Paid for by Kanye 2020. All right, so it's it's there's a simplicity to it that it gets right to the point. There's a call to action.
Yep. Yeah, there is a call to action. That's it's very relevant in today's busy society.
Yep. So there's not a lot of clutter to distract you from the main message of getting him on the ballot in a state that they didn't make it, but it gets right to the point. That's
the important part. Almost as important as his endorsements. I don't know if you have his endorsements in front of you, Kevin, or not. And I think we should try to get him on for a White House Wednesday to talk about this. But he's got some pretty good endorsements, I think. Number one on the list is 2 Chainz. Mm-hmm. All right. Des Bryant, Kim Kardashian. Who would have thought that Kim Kardashian would have endorsed Kanye West for president? I didn't see that one coming. That one was a surprise to me. Darrell Revis and Elon Musk. So
he's
got the Elon endorsement, which could be interesting. Kevin and I Kevin has a theory as to why. I don't know if he wants to share it or not. Maybe we'll keep it a secret and see if it happens. But yeah. So here it is. Kanye West for president, 2020. I was telling Kevin on break, I could have sworn that he mentioned that he was going to do this in 2020 in one of his songs. But I tried to do a quick Google search. I don't know if anybody who's listening to the show listens to Kanye's music. I'm assuming he's producing music. So I don't know if anybody can fact check that for me, but I could have sworn he had a song that said that he was going to run for president in 2020. And so I wonder if somebody called him out on it and was like, hey, you said you were going to run in 2020 in this song. And he was like, oh, I got to do that. So
yeah. No, for sure. And I know. So he had put out a few interesting stances. He talked about his pro-life stances, and then he said that no more Plan B, Plan A, and said that abortion. He's not actually pro-life. He said abortion should be legal. Just there should be more support for people who need it. Okay. He also said he took the interesting stance of saying that Harriet Tubman didn't actually free any slaves, just delivered them up to
he said Harriet Tubman didn't actually help free slaves. She just helped move them to work for new white people, I think is what he said. Now I gotta look it up. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, no, it never actually freed the slaves. She just had them work for other white people. That's,
there it is.
Yeah, so a few people were upset with that one when he said that at the rally. So, all right,
how big was the rally? Do we know? Was there a lot of people there? I didn't see anything about numbers.
No, I'm not sure, and I'm not sure if it's just it wasn't that big because, actually I have no idea. I'm not really sure what's going on. And I also, I did think I thought he said he wasn't serious about running for a little bit too, and now he's getting on the ballot. Here's another one. Here's another one of stances. Marijuana should be free. Boom.
Is that free money wise? You don't have to pay for it? You go to the gas station, there's just pull the lever, get some free marijuana, or free you shouldn't go to jail for possessing it.
All he said is should be free. So I'm assuming that I'm not going to have to spend any of my baby millions on buying weed now. I can just go and get my government weed, and life's going to be good.
Oh my goodness, government weed. You know what's funny though? And this is funny and sad and tragic all at the same time, which is government has subsidized all sorts of things to make them quote unquote free. So it wouldn't be so foreign to government, to Congress, to the White House to be like, yeah, we're going to subsidize this crop or this product or this service and make it free for the American population. So that stance is actually very well in line with how government already works. And they could substitute it for something else, pull something off of Rand Paul's annual grievance. We spent some hundreds of millions of dollars on researching if, you can see a fart or something like that, because government spends money on things like that. So just there you go. Probably people would be a lot happier. He'd probably get reelected again. And government weed. That's a different one. We'll have to ponder that. Guys, you're listening to Radio Free New York. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow.
At Victor Chevrolet, we want you to know we are here for your transportation needs. Our factory-trained specialist in the Victor Service Department can expertly handle any repair. Our concierge service can arrange for pickup and delivery of your vehicle if you choose. We're here for repairs, maintenance, inspections, warranty work, and recalls. Victor Chevrolet can help no matter where you bought your car or truck. And if you need a new vehicle, Victor can sell you a car virtually